Hello guys, I just wanted to make a quick a video about the news about the Canon T4i that will be released soon, very soon, probably within a month's time. But this rant is not, this is a DSLR rant by the way, but this rant is not towards the T4i, the Canon T4i. This rant is like towards all kind of like the bad stuff that I might have heard about it. And let's just get started with it, I guess. The T4i is the brand new Rebel that's coming out. Now, a lot of people have been mad that it's still going to be an 18 megapixel image. And, you know, they wanted more megapixels and stuff like that. And I just simply have to say that there's nothing wrong with 18 megapixels. Nothing wrong with 18 megapixels. 18 megapixels is plenty big. Like if you were to get a Nikon D4, which is 16.2 megapixels, and that camera's $5,500 in its value, that's an awesome stills camera. So, you know, having more megapixels than the Nikon D4 is not, you know, it's a good thing, I guess, but it's not like the end all, you know, only staying at 18 megapixels. Let me make this perfectly clear. You cannot value a camera based on its megapixels. Megapixels will not make you a better photographer. I know some of you might get butthurt when you hear that, but it's true. You can shoot outstanding images at 12 megapixels, for crying out loud, you know. So 18 megapixels, good, it's great. Now there are some similarities that are from the T4i that are, you know, that come from the T2i and T3i. One is 18 megapixels, as the others. The ISO capability on the T2i and T3i range from anywhere between 100 to 12,000, I believe 12,800 pretty much. And well, it's actually 100 at 6400 with a high setting of 12,800. But the T4i has ISO range from 100 to 12,800 and a high setting of 25,600, which is pretty good. It's a nice little boost. It's a nice little bump. Like the T3i, it has a 3-inch vari-angle screen, so you can, you know, put the angle in any position you want. That's good. That's good. I'm currently using a T2i, and I love my camera T2i. But I didn't upgrade to the T3i because I felt like the features were very similar, other than the vari-angled screen on the T3i, which I just really, I could live without for an extra $100. I mean, to save in my pocket. The frame rates on the Rebel cameras are all the same. You know, HD frame rates, 30 frames, 25 frames, 24 frames, etc., etc. They're all the same. Now, another pet peeve I think I have regarding other people's comments is, you know, we're still not getting 1080p at 60 frames a second so we can do the slow motion thing. And so what? So what? I mean, you get it at 720p 60 frames. I know, I include myself. I would love a 1080p 60 frames a second. But, I mean, is it a bummer that it's not at 60 frames? Yeah, it's a bummer. But I was never really even expecting it like some other people were expecting it. And it's like, give me a break. Like the Canon 5D Mark III just came out a month ago, and that didn't have 60 frames a second at full HD. What makes you think that the Canon T4i is going to have 60 frames a second at full HD? It's ridiculous. Like, don't, you know, your expectations are like way up here. And if you want, you know, 1080p at 60 frames a second, guess what? Get a fucking video camera, like a professional video camera. This is a DSLR. This is a stills camera first, primarily, and a video second. You got to realize that. This is not like a pro camera. You got the Sony FS100, FS700 for that, etc., etc. So don't let your expectations get the best of you. There's still great cameras for still images and video. Now, will I be upgrading to the T4i? Yeah, I'll be upgrading to the T4i from my T2i, and there's a very good reason for that. Not because I'm falling for the hype of it's just the new camera, the new thing, whatever. I can care less about that. I'll give you my reasons in a minute. You have automatic focus in the T4i in movie mode, which is a great boost, but if you're like me, and you're using the T2i, T3i, 7D, whatever DSLR, you're pretty much already accustomed to using either a follow focus or just adjusting the focus with your hand. So you're already accustomed to that. So it's not like a big increase or a big improvement, but it's a nice improvement. So I'll give the T4i that. One thing I just really did not like about the T4i, and it's not that I didn't like it, I just think it's pointless. It's a pointless feature, is the touchscreen. Now, if you're like me, you're a photographer or a videographer, it doesn't matter. You want your screen clean of smudges or fingerprints and all that stuff. You don't want to use your LCD screen as a navigator. Like, I'd rather use the side arrow controls for that. I'm perfectly happy with that. Perfectly fine with that. I don't want smudges and grease and all that shit on the LCD screen. It's just going to get in the way when you're previewing the picture you just took or the video clip that you just took. So it's a hassle. I think Canon really tried to up its game, but filled it with a pointless feature in that. It's not an iPhone. It's not a Droid X or something. It's not a phone where you use like touchscreen everything. It should be treated as like a video camera. And I think they could have, or a photography camera, whatever you're using it for. I think they could have dealt without that feature. Now, why am I getting the T4i? It's not because of the little, increases here and there. And here's another thing that most people are not talking about, which is surprising. Or either they're not talking about it because they don't know, or they just don't know the benefits of it. Now, if you shoot video, like I do, you know that the Canon DSLR lineups, they're very good at shooting video, but they do have some issues. Aliasing for one, moire for another. Those are big issues. The way that the Digic 4 processor would record essentially a 4K image and scale it down to a 1080p image, the way they would do that is they record one line of resolution, throw away 3 lines, record another line, throw away another 3, and etc., etc. That's how you would come down to a 1080p image. And with that brought a lot of issues, moire and aliasing, which are just ugly. They're ugly artifacts. You don't want to deal with that. The Canon 5D Mark III that was announced not too long ago carries around a Digic 5 processor, which gave better compression. It doesn't throw away information the way a Digic 4 processor does, so it pretty much virtually eliminated aliasing and moire. And it also gave you a nice little ISO boost. So, the low light capability was improved. Now, the T4i has a Digic 5 processor. It's great. That's the key. That should have been the selling point for Canon with this camera, DSLR. Not all the other automatic focus during movie mode. Who cares? Like I've dealt without it for a while now. Like, big whoop. Touchscreen. Who cares? It's not a phone. But a Digic 5 processor, why? Why is that important? It's great because it doesn't give you aliasing. It won't give you moire issues. It will increase the low light sensitivity on the camera, which are already great anyway. That alone was the selling point for me. So I will be upgrading to a T4i only due to that. And, for people that for people that are literally, you know, complaining about the megapixel and all this 60 frames a second, give me a break. You know, don't be cheap. If you want that, get a pro level camera. Don't expect it on an $850 a body. Anyways, catch you guys next time. Later.